Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today with the competition recap. I have my program with me and we will now go through all 4 of the competition lifts, and yeah, I will just share some learnings with you, share with you what I want to make better, and I also will share with you what my goals are for the next competition, the World Championships in I think roughly 17 weeks from today. So stay tuned for the video. As you guys know, I wrote a book. It's called Understanding Calisthenics. Release date will be in roughly 4 weeks. We have 4 weeks left for the pre-sale or pre-order price. It's 20% off. Once it's released, the price will go up, so make sure to pre-order it now. It contains everything you need to know about dips, pull-ups, chin-ups, muscle-ups. You will learn everything you need to know about assistance exercises, executions, also health assistance. So the whole training part, except the real programming like reps and sets and all that stuff itself, is covered. So very, very complex. Additionally, you will learn everything you need to know about planche, front lever, dynamic lever skills, handstand push-ups, and these are also covered with like in-depth programming. So very, very complex book. We ended up now having roughly 350 pages. So it's a lot of knowledge. Make sure not to miss it. Additionally, we have now restocked the King of Weighted belts. So everyone who pre-ordered, check your emails. We send out everything last week. And yeah, make sure to order yours now if you don't have one. Let's start with lift number 1, muscle ups. First of all, I'm pretty happy with the outcome here. Smashed a competition PR with 25 kg valid. I did it the first time in 2019. I also did 25 kg. I was like 6 to 7 kg lighter back then. Didn't get this one valid. Now I have it, and there is definitely room for more. If we're looking at my training, I train the muscle up 3 times a week. Monday with muscle ups itself, mostly with, let me check that, a ramping system. So I usually started with 2 sets on a certain weight, then ramped up another 2 sets, ramped up another 1 or 2 sets. So like 5 to 6 sets of muscle ups on a Monday. On my secondary muscle up day, that was always Thursday, I did pull-ups, the modified high pull-ups that I think I already showed you in a couple of these training vlogs, where I really tried to bias the transition of the muscle up, bringing the arms backwards. Here I worked with a bit of an overloading strategy, so we pushed that a bit harder than the actual muscle ups in regards of the weight. And then on Saturday, primary muscle up day, usually work with top and back off sets, so ramping up to a heavier top set, and then 3 to 4 back off sets, mostly singles, just getting some practice in. And yeah, what is the main learning here? First one is definitely trust the process here. I was pretty emotional with the muscle ups because I had a hard time with the transition and, try to hit certain numbers and like I need to hit that and that and that and that to hit on competition that. But with the muscle ups, you can't really predict too much the outcome of the competition if you are also pushing the chin up pretty hard, which I did, because then you always pretty fatigued in pull, meaning this has a significant impact on your explosive strength. So in training, you're much weaker than in competition. And looking at my values, heaviest training single was 21.25 kg. Not valid at all for competition, and then in competition 25 was comparable easy. So yeah, main learning, trust the process. And I will definitely need to work still with these higher volumes because my transition technique still is not good. I'm still not happy with the weight placement. I will try a few different techniques and then see which one works the best for me, because I still feel that I cannot control my center of mass as good as I need to have it to then be able to hit 27.5 or 30 kg, which would be epic for the worlds. But I think 27.5 is definitely possible. Coming to the second lift, which was the chin up. Here I also had really nothing to complain about. Also during the prep, that was my most consistent lift actually. Ended up with a PR of 80 kg in competition, which is 2.5 kg more than 1.5 years ago. I definitely had more in the tank, but I lacked a bit in confidence that day. Training and competition, two different things. And I actually planned to open with 70 kg as I did, and then jump straight to 77.5. But I just jumped to 77.5, but I just jumped to 76.25 because 70 felt easy, but I didn't have the confidence that day. And then to hit 82.5, which was planned, that jump was too big for me, so I decided to go for 80, as my goal was to have 12 of 12 valid reps to build a bigger total. But yeah, that's it. So for the upcoming World Championships, I try to hit like 85 kg, and I think that's definitely possible. Training wise, I probably won't change anything in the peaking, as this worked pretty good. Heaviest training single was 75, and then competition kind of as expected, just 2.5 kg difference. So that worked perfectly, and never change the running system. We definitely continue with the same exercise setup when it's time to peak again. Then dip. Here I need my programming, because dips was the exercise where I had the biggest success in training and the biggest fail in competition. I wanted to hit 140 to 145, and I was also actually pretty confident that I can do it, but in training I just became much too greedy. I think I had my peak performance 3 to 4 weeks out, and we had very, very good success in the dips, as we had one heavier day and the other days on more moderate ranges. And during the peaking, we pushed primary and the secondary day pretty heavy. And then I had heavy triples, heavy singles on the secondary day. And those two heavy days were a bit too much for my recovery abilities. So I was not able to keep it this heavy for the whole 8 weeks of the peaking. And so, yeah, 2 to 3 weeks out, I already had my peak performance. Then I did the 125 for a double. I did the 130 for a pause single. I did the 135 in training. And then in competition, I failed the 140 because performance was already going down. Because due to me not being able to recover from those heavy sets, it led to a bit of a problem with my coracobrachialis here. So with internal rotation and adduction movements, so when it comes to dips and wider grip bench presses, that really started to hurt and really harmed my dip a lot, and also my confidence in my dip. And that was like 2 weeks out, it started to really become a problem. I still had the feeling in the taper week that it still hurt. In competition, I couldn't feel it that much. So, due to the recovery from the taper week, it went actually pretty good. But as you saw, performance was not on top level, and I definitely think I have like 145 already in me, and for the Worlds, 145 to 150 kg are definitely ambitious but possible. And with not becoming that greedy in the prep, keeping really the RPEs, maybe even fuck the RPEs and work with pre-planned weights, no ranges, so I cannot put any ego in, will be then I will have a better outcome, and also keep the lower ranges for a shorter period of time, as 8 weeks was just a bit too much for me with 2 heavy sessions, but very, very good learning. Then last on the list was the squat. Here, I think I have the biggest room for improvement. I just did a 220 kg squat. Why just? Because I ended the block before the competition block, so 5 weeks out of competition, with a double at 210 kg, but depth was not sufficient. And I trained the whole time with a super critical depth. And in the last phase of the peaking, it was super crucial for me to relearn the technique a bit to hit depth. And that was pretty humbling, because those last 5 centimeters, that killed my squat. Like, I needed to decrease by 10, 15 kg and kind of like build up the squat again 5 weeks out, and that was mentally pretty draining. I was very frustrated with that lift. Didn't have a lot of fun with the squats training. And yeah, here biggest learning is also no ego. Work during your whole peaking phase with a competition standard. If you're a competitive athlete, better whole year round with solid depth, because if you start to adapt to competition technique too late, you will definitely lose a lot of the weight you worked for, and that happened to the squat. Maybe also in the next competition prep, if I'm more primed to higher volumes, I can also have a better outcome, because at the moment I don't tolerate too much leg training volume, so there's definitely room for some volume adaptation. And in the upcoming phase, which I will explain you in a different video, what we're going to change now and what we're now trying to implement in my program to make me better. That is something that I will explain you in a different video. But all in all, with those 220 kg on competition day, the grind of the day, I think it was like a 3 or 4 count positive. But as you can see from my smile at the end of the lift, that made me pretty happy. I ended up winning with I think 19 kg in advance to place number 2. So dominated the weight class still, which was pretty nice, and that's a good starting point to hit bigger totals in the upcoming competitions and next one in the Worlds.